Hello. Welcome. I got a best viewers spam bot before I even actually officially started the stream. You might wonder why we're in the gold saucer. That's just because I haven't checked the I haven't checked this yet. I actually got third prize. Wow. Sucro win lottery, sort of? For once? Ish? Anyway. Hello, welcome. This will be a stream of the Dawntrail melee DPS role quests. As you know, because that's in the title. Don't know why I said it like that, but this will probably be the last Sucro stream for a while, on account of there's nothing else to do until the patch, unless I decide to learn Extremes or Savage, which I'm not doing. So here's Sucro in a funny hat. I could stream the Rising, but the Rising will be like a 30-minute to an hour event. Probably. It would be a very short stream. Right then. Sorry, I had to stretch. It's important. Yeah. There's not a lot to say, I guess. Except that... How about last time? Oh yeah, the ranged DPS ones. Yeah, that was a... Well, wait, no, that wasn't... That was ranged physical DPS, right? I think? Yeah. It's been a little bit. It was a very weird one. So let's see how this goes. Enough bumbling through words. Let's read words that the game tells me to read. Hello there. I take it you've spoken with Brooke Evu. Willing to lend a hand? Nod. I'm truly grateful. Then allow me to introduce myself. I am Shashepya, and I have traveled far from my village in the forests of Shaktural in search of a brave soul to help us retrieve our stolen treasure. For generations have my people watched over the Dreamweave cocoon, the vessel in which the power of the Swallowtail Tural Vidral is sealed. Before its ascension, the Swallowtail warded off would-be predators by assuming the form of more threatening butterflies. Poisonous ones and the like, through its skill at mimicry. Wow, I can't believe we're going to have to fight Morpho Knight today. So it survived day after day, summer after summer, until the dawn of its great new existence. It became capable of taking on the form of any creature which crossed its path. This fearsome power was sealed within the cocoon, and any who possess it command the self-same abilities. Indeed, the wielder too may assume the form of any manner of beast or man they've beheld. This is one of those fiction power objects. I guess Morpher is real. This is one of those like... This is like one of those powers or like things in fiction that if you throw it into a context, you then have to deal with it existing and what that could mean for the rest of the story. Like, this is just a side thing, so it's unlikely that there will be a surprise that was actually somebody else. But like, I feel like perfect mimicry of people is a dangerous thing to suddenly insert into a story. Sort of like if time travel suddenly exists, but not really. If that makes any sense. Anyway. Yeah. Yet this mimicry is not limited to merely physical forms. No, the wielder may replicate the talents and abilities of their target. So long as such actions fall within their ken, that is. So it's also mime, so Sucrose... I can't believe Sucrose canon. In an instant, they may become a master of the hunt, a twin-blade-wielding viper, or a savage brash with claws and fangs to gut whomsoever they please. It is this power which has protected my village from the predators of the forest, for though it grants many boons, the forest contains threats in equal measure. By donning the skins of its most formidable beasts, we've kept ourselves safe for generations. Without the cocoon, my village's very survival is at risk. That is why we have sent our foremost hunter, Itoka, to ensure that it is reclaimed. She's never failed to capture her quarry, so I thought she would make short work of this ordeal, yet there's been no word from her. I fear this may be a hunt she cannot undertake alone. It is for that reason I wish to enlist the aid of one familiar with the lay of the land beyond the Great Sea, and one whose prowess in close quarters would complement her expertise with the bow. One of the villagers ran into the thief before he fled, and said he intended to use the cocoon's power in Kugane, which I understand is the name of a large settlement located far, far to the east. Please, for the sake of my home, set out for this eastern habitation and assist Itoka with retrieving the cocoon. Leave it to me. I got a baseball hat. Your willingness to aid is most reassuring. You have my heartfelt thanks. Upon arriving in the eastern land, search for a Vieira woman carrying a bow and dressed in similar attire to myself. If you visit a tavern like this one, I dare say you may find someone who's seen her. Alrighty then. I guess Kugane was the place we hadn't gone yet. Or one of the places we hadn't gone yet. Let's see what they do with this dangerous precedent of a power. Alas, from Turol, was it? Sorry, I can't help you. That reminds me though, I heard Turol has its own local variety of spirits called mezcal. Been meaning to taste it myself for an age now, but you've no idea how hard it is to get one's hands on a bottle of it here. Welcome to the Shiokaze hostelry. How may I serve you? You're searching for someone. As a matter of fact, I do distinctly remember seeing a Vieira woman of that description earlier, but I'm afraid I could not tell you where she may be now. This guy really wants mezcal. Vieira woman bearing a bow? Why yes, I do recall such a person. It was hard not to notice her, really, given how she was peering at every little thing. If she came from the distant lands to the west, no doubt Kugane is quite the unusual sight for her. With any luck, she'll still be where I saw her, in the vicinity of the Sekisagumi barracks. Alright. Itoka-esque woman. I wonder if this could be Itoka. This city is simply too large for me to cover alone. Perhaps it's time I returned home. Howdy. Itoka? Yes, I am she. And you are? I'm Sucro. I'm a cat. I see. Sashepia was always a worrywart. Won't deny I appreciate the help, though. Ascertaining the whereabouts of the cocoon has been no easy task. I managed to secure room and board in this lodging after arriving in Kugane, and have been using it as a base to track down the thief ever since. I'll tell you all I know. According to an eyewitness from my village, the thief is a middle-aged Huron male. That's all we have to go on regarding his appearance. Yet so long as he possesses the cocoon, he can be anyone and anything. An elderly woman traipsing along the street, a child throwing a ball, mayhap even the dog chasing after it. Truth be told, I was nigh at wit's end trying to find him. It is until I discovered that a series of unusual squabbles have been occurring around the city. After investigating these incidents, I found one commonality. The instigator in each case invariably had no recollection of the incident, let alone of inciting it. What's more, eerie accounts have begun to circulate amongst the residents. Some folk claim they've somehow been seen it in two places at once. Based on all this, I believe the thief's been using the Dreamweave cocoon to transform into innocence and spread discord throughout the city. Stands to reason we can find him by following the trail of chaos left in his wake, no? And yet, even should we apprehend him, in whatever form he's hidden himself within, there's nothing to stop him from feigning ignorance. Besides a secret remedy, of course. The recipe for an elixir which can forcibly remove the cocoon's enchantment has been passed down in my village for emergencies like this. I made sure to prepare a few vials before making the voyage here. I need simply throw the solution at the suspect and the cocoon's weave of mimicry will unfurl on the spot. That covers everything. Now, what say we see if there's any trouble afoot? The thief will undoubtedly not be far from it. Let me know when you're ready. We'll catch him together. Nod. Yeah, it does seem good that, like, their plan to spread chaos is not immediately jumping to political assassinations and, like, other such upheavals. Ready to set off then? Perfect. I say we begin our search in the markets. I recall a great number of people gathering in the Rakuza district, I believe it was called. Itoka is now accompanying you. Guess who's trying to press select to look at a map like Elden Ring? Couldn't be me. What do you think about this particular square of the road? Talk about cities. To think that all this was wrought by mortal hands, remarkable. My people have ever lived in harmony with nature, but that doesn't mean we condemn the ways of those who choose otherwise. In fact, in the brief time I've been exposed to settlements like this, I've come to see such places have their merits too. Rare are the days my people will leave the shelter and bounty found beneath the forest's boughs. I was speechless when I first laid eyes on Tuliolo, a city with as many people as trees in the forest, and Kugane is no less dense. Ah, I've located the point of interest. The most interesting point. Something about this hat on Sucro is going to be funny to me the whole time. Look, you thieving horse, and I told you this isn't enough. Nod. But sir, that cannot be right. I'm sure I gave you your change in full. Enough! Hand over my money or I'll take it by force. The customer is suspicious, the clerk is suspicious, or let's keep watching. Customer's being a jerk. My thoughts exactly. This is just gonna be a jerk. Reveal yourself, villain! This is just... They were just a jerk and not using the cocoon. They're being normal for Kugane. I guess there is a lot of merchant stuff going on in Kugane. What in the blazes do you think you're doing? Oh, sorry. Very, very sorry. Ah, oh dear. 1,000 apologies, sir. I gravely miscalculated your change. I will return what you're owed immediately. I beg your forgiveness. I wonder if you say the clerk is suspicious, if the clerk gets it instead. Does she immediately agree with you? Or... How many doses of this elixir do we have, by the way? I apologize for the disturbance. How dreadfully embarrassing. Well, a hunter doesn't quit after a single arrow misses its mark. Best not to dwell on what's done, and instead focus on our next course of action. Let's see how things fare on Kogane Dori. Shrug. Is the joke of this that we spend all of the elixir doses available on random people who are being jerks? And then we've got nothing? Is this the same square? Yes. What do you think about bridges? The sea? I can't believe how impossibly vast it is. My jaw dropped when I first saw it. I could hardly fathom where the horizon ended and the sea began. Before arriving into Iolo, I'd imagined the sea to be merely a larger, saltier body of water than the lake back home. There we would race from shore to shore. To attempt the same here, I fear, would have fatal results. People have done it, but, like, not many. It's the Wandering Minstrel. That's the culprit. Get him. I saw him over there. I'll cut you down where you stand, you lecherous lummox. Interesting lingering camera shot here. What's going on here? The big bloke yonder allegedly laid his hands on that grizzled fella's woman. Afraid this may come to blows. Calm yourself, man. I've not done what she claims. You dare add insult to injury by calling her a liar? Ignore him. I told you that pig defiled me. Cut him down this instant. Wow. There's no truth to her words. Wherefore does she spout such rubbish? Kami, give me strength. Cut the bloody brute down already. Yes, not less than your head shall serve as penance for your crimes. Very well. Let my blade prove my innocence. It's her, right? Nod. Yeah, it's pretty suspicious. Ah, well, we found them immediately. Was that really necessary? No matter, I was growing weary of this petty farce. It's time I moved on to bigger and better things, like political assassination. Here I go. I'm a bird now, goodbye! Oh no, you don't! Yeah, I mean, like, that's the perfect time for an arrow. Oh. I see, we don't know what tone we're doing again. What is this joke from a completely different genre? Like, this doesn't even feel like a Hildebrand moment exactly. It feels like a joke from a completely different piece of media snuck in here. Plus, like, the way the way the like cinematography and camera angles and stuff is going, it feels like this is directed by someone new and different. Something about that joke and the way the camera work has been done so far just feels notably... Like, I pointed out the camera before the sudden joke happened. Interesting. And yeah, you did say you had words about this one, which is why I saved it for when you were here. How odd. My bow is more out of tune than I realized. Sweetheart. Is it really you? Oh, thank the Kami you're safe. I found her lying unconscious in a nearby alleyway. She could only vaguely recall being attacked from behind before losing consciousness. So the villain knocked her out before assuming her visage in a ploy to deceive her husband. I fell for the deception like a complete and utter fool. I do not even know how to begin to make amends. There are no amends to be made. He simply acted as any husband would. Due to your involvement, this matter was resolved without bloodshed. The Seki Segumi, thank you. It is regrettable, however, that the villain managed to escape. A criminal who can change their shape at will is exceedingly dangerous. Know that the Seki Segumi will alert the populace to this menace and remain vigilant for any suspicious activity within the city. Yeah, I was thinking that too. We were trying to resolve it with bloodshed, but like only the cool kind of bloodshed. Also, this text box here, we're going to let the populace know that there's a shapeshifter among them who could be any of them at any time and trying to deceive anyone. Surely this will not incite panic or cause any problems, and is completely in line with the tone of the previous cutscene. Good job, everybody involved here. Oh dear. Maybe be careful about that. Good job, Samurai Cops. Yeah, exactly. Let's return to my lodgings. I'd like to go over where we stand with our elusive quarry. It's funny how often in fiction, people are like, we can't let the general populace know about this. It will cause panic. And then occasionally they're just like, we're going to let the general populace know about this, even though it will cause panic. Because we didn't want that. We didn't decide to use the plot point of the populace can't know today, so they're going to know about it. Yeah, the Vanguard stuff is really cool. This is the Vanguard hat, also, for the record. So it's intended to pair with the swords, arguably. The rest of it is not Vanguard stuff, though. Nod. This is also a different hairstyle than I've been using. This is Vanguard hat of Mask of Scout. Right. There's another feature of this hat. It's normally this. That's the visor. But like the reason I have this hairstyle is because I was attempting to make an Etrian Odyssey inspired Landsnecht outfit, and this hairstyle paired best with it. I think it works better with this hat than the other one too, because the other one just got like mostly hidden by the hat. Also, I think I pronounced Landsnecht right. I looked that up at some point when I was thinking about it. Yeah, they have like hair decorations sometimes, so. I kind of wish you could dye the Vanguard weapons, like the purple part, for example, but they are still really cool, just generally. I looked up how to pronounce it, and that's what I found, I think, so. Also, it seemed like vaguely important to...
I am going to attempt to say this. Give me good luck, Lance Connect. Phonetically, Landsnecht.
So Calico can read phonetic, like, pronunciation, sort of. Lands Connect. The jousting game for the Xbox. Lance Connect. I don't think that's a thing. I'm just trying to imagine how, like, a motion controls lancing video game, or not lancing, like jousting mini game, or video game would attempt to work. I don't know if that would work. It would be quite something, I'm sure. As predicted, the thief has been using the cocoon's power of mimicry to incite conflict around the city. What he hopes to accomplish by doing so, however, is still unclear. And so long as he has this power, our sole means of tracking him remains the havoc left in his wake. A trying trail for any hunter, but I'm heartened to have a warrior like you beside me as I tread it. We'll catch him together, and when we do, we'll mete out the justice he deserves, Sucro. That is also true, yeah. It would definitely be one of those get stuck in a video game isekai things. Something else just occurred to me. While we're thinking about what the tone of this questline is attempting to be, and like the tones of the other questlines, I'm wondering maybe if any like uncertainty or shift in tone in these role quests is meant to pair with whatever the tone is at the point in the MSQ when you would first be able to do that step of the quest. For example, we just did one that had a silly comedy bit that would have been available relatively at the start of Dawntrail, where it was less serious. However, like, even though I'm saying this, like, the healer one was goofy all the way through, and like extra goofy at the end, but I guess the end, so that wouldn't really match up with all of them, but I wonder if with some of them where the tone changes throughout, if it's meant to match the MSQ a little bit more. Like, the healer one is... First of all, the healer one is the best one so far, in my opinion. And also has a pretty consistent tone most of the time. Like, there's a little bit in the middle where it gets a little bit more dire because they're, like, trying to poison the water of the place where injured people go to heal, which is bad. But yeah, that'll be something to, like, think about as we go through this one. Especially because, as the one that you could play as a Viper like I'm doing, this one would be potentially the most relevant to people playing through the Dawntrail MSQ. Because, as the new job, one of the new jobs, this and the casting one would be the ones most likely to be seen by a lot of people playing through Dawntrail. The casting one was pretty alright, and I don't think it shifted its tone around a lot, so it wouldn't really line up with that either. But just something to keep in mind, I think. Also, if I remember correctly, the idea I had once for my version of the getting stuck in a video game isekai was going to use the MMO name Grandest Kingdoms Online. Because I feel like if you're naming an MMO for that sort of story, it has to have a name that has online in it, potentially. And it also has to sound vaguely generic. Like, there's never been a VR MMO in fiction that has a extremely creative title. So I feel like that's the sort of title you go for. Anyway, A Sea of Blood? No, it's A Storm of Blood. It's different. Yeah, GKO is also pretty good. See, it's like TKO, a total knockout, except the G stands for gender because it was going to be about gender. That feeling when your gender gets knocked out. Anyway. I don't entirely know what that means, but I think it applies. Like, the general concept for that was, someone intends to go into a, in this case, it was going to be a single person, or maybe like up to 2 people isekai. It was going to be one person getting stuck in a VR MMO on the role-playing server, which they specifically made a character for that was, quote, as different from them as possible, unquote, in order to, like, attempt to, like, learn role-playing and, like, broaden their horizons or whatever. But then they're stuck as a girl. Oh no! Question mark, etc. Anyway. A Sea of Blood. Good to see you, Sucro. For better or worse, I haven't heard about any unusual incidents in Kugane since our last altercation with the thief. There may be a reason for that. Do you remember when he claimed he was moving on to bigger and better things? If we're to catch him, we may have to expand the scope of our search beyond Kugane. Yet he traveled all the way from Tyrol to this eastern land for a reason, and I can't imagine he'd go too far. Do you know of any other settlements nearby? How about the Ruby Sea? People live out in those waters? But they're so vast. Where would we even begin? Ah, so the Bakufu has an outpost at the Ruby Price. That sounds like the perfect place to start. Let's make our way there and avail ourselves of the soldiers' intel. If anything out of the ordinary has occurred, no doubt they'll be aware of it, shall we? I had a whole bunch of plans for that story, but then I never tried writing it. I like convinced myself that in order to write... Okay, I don't remember where the quick travel to this is from Kugane. Probably at the pier, but I'm just gonna go there and fly anyway. I convinced myself that in order to write a story that where the setting was very important, that I would have to have a lot of detailed knowledge about the setting. And then I never tried writing it. Alpaca. The setting would at least have to be somewhat important for the role-playing angle of it. Though, like, not necessarily, I suppose. I keep forgetting whether or not Dawntrail updated skyboxes a lot. And I just think that, like, the stormy sky looks neat. I've probably commented on this before, but I also still really like the music in this area. This might be one of my favorite area themes. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how I would describe what the tone of this area is. But the music is a very, like, sort of... It's a good, vaguely peaceful vibe. Yeah, I guess if you looked at this area without, like, the music, and you saw stuff like Heaven on High over there and whatnot, it would seem more... It would seem a little more threatening, like with the volcano, Heaven on High. And depending on who you are, like the emphasis on underwater stuff could also be quite spooky. Yeah, that's a good point. Well, this is unexpected. What brings you to the Ruby Price? Disputes? Strange you should ask. Not even a moon ago, the waters of the Ruby Sea were poised to turn a sanguinary shade. Dude, you can just say there was a fight. You can just say that people got mad. You don't have to poetically talk about how the sea was going to run with blood or whatever. Ikaruga, chill. Just a little bit. Please tell us everything. A Confederate skiff approached the Ruby Price without authorization, and its occupant began hurling insult after insult in an obvious attempt to provoke us. See, I read this and the first thought I had was, did he disguise himself as the boat? How did he get the boat? I guess you could just disguise yourself as the Confederate and be like, this is my boat. And they'd be like, yeah. Yeah, man, it is. So the boat would not be an obstacle, but it was a speed bump for my brain, at least. King of Hyrule behavior. Yeah. We did not succumb to their provocations, however. After warning the vessel we'd fire if they drew an ilm closer, they withdrew without a word. However, should they attempt to provoke us again, we will not display the same level of restraint, and the roar of our cannon shall signal their comrades to rally in full force. The waters will flow red, of that there can be no doubt. Yeah. Hey. Sometimes I just think about the King of Hyrule voice clips where he's like, hey. The King of Hyrule voice lines in Hyrule Warriors are very funny too. I can't remember any of them right now, but they're all ridiculous. Tensions run high. Not like this has ever occurred. I see. Thank you for the information. Might we speak privately? Despite the fact that the samurai cops were more than willing to alert everybody in a major trade city that there is a shapeshifter doing crimes, we cannot tell these samurai cops that there's a shapeshifter doing crimes. We have to go over here and talk about it instead. Based on the testimony just now, I gather there's an agreement in these waters that the Confederates are not to draw near the Ruby Price, guarded as it is by Bakufu sentries. If that's the case, then, as the soldier stated, I can only conclude that the vessel earlier was attempting to incite a dispute between the two factions. Which fits the modus operandi of our quarry, wouldn't you say? Perhaps it was he who sailed here under the banner of the Confederates. Also, like, it would probably be worthwhile to tell Ikaruga over there that this is going on so they don't open fire and start a war. Like, now that we've escalated to attempting to basically start a war between two factions, we're deciding not to inform people? I don't know if this is like complaining about a plot hole tier of observation, but I'm just thinking about it, since the whether or not we tell people about what's going on dilemma is frequently kind of irritating in stories, how it's handled. Nothing will ever get to the height of we can't tell people what's going on because there's a curse where if you talk about the kingdom outside of the kingdom, you vaporize into thin air. Nothing will ever be Fire Emblem Fates Revelation except for Fire Emblem Fates Revelation. But still. Perhaps it was he who sailed here under the banner of the Confederates. Whatever the case may be, we have nothing but conjecture. We'll need solid evidence before we can alert the soldiers here to this threat. I doubt they'll heed our warnings otherwise. Okay, fair enough. I guess we're addressing it and saying we don't have enough evidence that this is the case. Though, in that case, I could probably leverage my status as the hero of every realm and be like, trust me, man. There's some stuff happening. Be careful. First, we need to verify if any members of the Confederacy actually approached the Ruby Price. Do you know where their base of operations can be found? Nod. Yeah, it's my word against years of grudges, but also my word carries a lot of weight because of all my accomplishments. Sakazuki, looks like it would be fastest for us to swim there. Nod. Sukro, you have a two-seater mount. Sukro, you could drive the flying car over there. You don't have to swim. What happens if this guy copies Soroban? Interesting question. Any of your comrades sailed to the Ruby Price recently? Huh. The soldiers at the Ruby Price said that, did they? Pardon my language, but that's a load of shite. We have no interest in Hingan waters. If anything, I've seen their skiffs encroaching on our territory of late. If you ask me, they're the ones thirsty for blood. What? Absolutely not. Not how one of my Confederate brothers and sisters would approach the Ruby Price without authorization. Those cowardly Bakufu dogs must have concocted this baseless rumor to get a rise out of us. I think telling these people about stuff is not doing the intent. By the way, this person is using the mount from Arcadian Savage. Funny wheel. Anyway. Howdy. There you are, Sukro. Listen to what this person has to say. The situation is more grave than we thought. I'm thankful you came, and not a moment too soon. Captain Rasho ain't been acting himself, you see. Normally where he goes, Tansui goes, but not today. He showed up just earlier by his lonesome and ordered us to gather as many heads as able to join him on the Isle of Becco to attend to some pressing business. Normally I'd oblige the captain without a moment's hesitation, but I had a feeling something went right, so I asked him what manner of business. We're gonna set the ruby price ablaze, he says. The bloody ruby price! Tried speaking some sense into him, but he weren't of a mind to listen. Walked off saying he has no need of craven bastards like me. Look, I don't know what's gotten into the captain, but it can't be anything good. Please go to the Isle of Becco and stop him and me comrades before it's too late. This Rasho acting strangely can't be a coincidence. We need to get to that island and quickly. Do you know the way? Got it. We've not a moment to waste. Nod. Leave it to me. I haven't really thought about how it's vaguely funny, the clothing that they use for the Confederates. It's vaguely funny that they're using, like, holiday fashion items for them sometimes. Also, I keep trying to summon horse in the same way as Elden Ring or similar. I may have been playing a lot of Elden Ring recently. I would like to mention in the aftermath of the Elden Ring faith casting stream the other day that I immediately made another character who was a samurai, and I just immediately deleted everything with the katana. And then I got a ridiculous katana that you can get early by killing a guy who you're probably supposed to do the quest of, and that katana is broken. Well, not broken, but it's significantly strong. Anyway, in conclusion, I don't know what actual character type I like in Elden Ring anymore. I was like, maybe I like casters more, and now I'm like, I think I have a cool sword actually, never mind. It's just good to have some kind of ranged option, whether you make your sword able to shoot a gun, or you have a bow or whatever. Anyway, I'm getting distracted a lot today. I hear voices, seems they've gathered up ahead. I feel like more than a lot of the other role quests, this one is high on the amount of situations that feel like they'd escalate into a fight. Like, they could have put fights in here more. Those scum think they can encroach on our territory and get away with it? I'll be damned if we let them. Tonight we lay siege to the ruby price and seize it for ourselves. But are you sure? If we do this, we won't just be starting a battle, we'll be starting a war. You've been acting strange, Captain. What's gotten into you? Silence! I didn't ask for your bloody opinion. Those lying dogs claimed it was us breaching the agreement. I say we give the bastards what they deserve. So, fake Rasho here has recruited a crew of 3 people to do this. I guess it's a light party. One of them doesn't seem certain about it. You are not welcome here. Begone if you value your lives. You're a terrible actor. Whoa, Sucre's never done that gesture before. I think one of them had a bow, actually. You saw through my disguise once again. Don't tell me you count even a pirate captain among your acquaintances. I sure do. Nod. What are you trying to accomplish? Why incite such conflict wherever you go? Why? Sorry to disappoint you, but contrary to the passage of the Unbound's prattling about freeing the world from the tyranny of government, I have no grand designs. I wish merely for everyone to show their true faces. Folk love to put on airs of sophistication and virtue, but push them towards the edge, and their masks slip off to reveal the monsters underneath. Have you read The Killing Joke? I haven't, but I think it's relevant to this. I love the Joker. He is my favorite villain in super comics. Superhero. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Help. Anyway, super comics. That's what everyone calls. That's what this idiot calls them. I'm the Joker, baby. It's me. Anyway, this is extremely... Yeah, Evil Ninja Waluigi is just the Joker, at least in part. They'll go for their neighbor's jugular to save their own skin. You've seen it for yourselves. It's quite the spectacle. The bird again. I guess it worked last time. Alright, where's this gonna... What's the comedy here gonna... It's the Namazu again. Damn it, the winds are too strong. A man of 1,000 faces is a true menace indeed. We'll return to Onokoro forthwith to alert the captain. Rest assured the Confederacy will be keeping a close watch over the Ruby Sea. I didn't think for a minute he was an imposter, and the lies he spouted about the Bakufu soldiers were enough to make my blood boil. To think what would have happened had you not been here to stop us. Kami bless you. Also, I feel like we're bouncing back and forth between various tones again. Just like people are actually super evil, and if they show their true face, they'll kill each other all the time. Time for some comedy music. Oops, you almost hit the Namazu again. Bye. Anyway, let's discuss the darker part of the tone here. Well, the jokes are happening occasionally, but they feel out of place a little bit. Okay, I forgot the exact definition of bathos, and I had to look. An unintentional lapse in mood? Yeah. From the sublime to the trivial or ridiculous is how this dictionary defines it. All he wants is to expose people's so-called true faces? That he would use the cocoon for such a petty cause. Unthinkable. The entire reason this guy wanted to use the cocoon for this alleged showing people's true faces thing was the irony points of disguising himself as a million different things in order to do so. Or maybe he doesn't realize the irony of this. Let's return to Kugane for the time being. Nod. I think that's the only time in the game that Sucro has ever done that dramatically throwing your hand out to the side gesture in a cutscene. That's an NPC gesture, not a PC gesture. Typically. I don't know why that stood out to me. If he says, "Why so serious?" I'm gonna hit him with a stick. And by that I mean a sword. Damn it all, I can't believe a bastard like that. Forgive me, I find myself more disgusted with that villain each time we see him. And to think all of this is driven by small-minded spite. From what I could gauge, he didn't fly towards Kugane during his escape. I believe he seeks a new settlement to terrorize. Now that the Confederacy and I are acquainted, I'll see if they can't help me sniff out his roost. No doubt where there's smoke, he'll be there stoking the fire. And I suppose I'll use this period to tend to my bow. Next time my arrow will fly true. It won't though, because we have to do that running joke a couple more times, I think. Wonderful, you're here. Ever since the incident in the Ruby Sea, I've kept a line of communication with the Confederacy. And they just reported something you'll be interested to hear. Also, we now that we told the Confederacy about it, but we're still not telling the Bakufu about it. So like there are still people there who don't know what's up, I guess. Not that it matters, because this guy is moving on to a different place every time we catch him, so... Shrug. Well, sort of, because something is being reported anyway, so maybe not exactly. Pirates are definitely known for sending apology letters, yeah. That checks out. They just reported something you'll be interested to hear. Apparently, a man impersonating the distinguished Lord of Doma was recently exposed. One of the Lord's retainers saw through the pretender's facade while he was attempting to stir up trouble in the Doman enclave. The impostor then reportedly transformed into a hawk and fled. Clearly, our quarry now nests in Doma. I'd like to resume our hunt immediately, but I'm not sure where he may go after his failure in the enclave. Do any locations come to mind? A town in Yangsha called Namai, you say? That sounds promising. The extent of your knowledge is truly remarkable, Sukro. Yeah. It occurs to me also that, like, given the specific area that we're in and, like, the themes of this zone of the world, like, this does kind of have, like, a folktale sort of vibe that fits in vaguely, potentially, like a folktale or a myth that fits in with the culture of this place. Sorta. Then without further ado, let's make our way there and see if the residents have noticed any unusual activity. So, yeah, so at least there's that. Like, there are definitely Japanese myths and legends and stuff about transforming tricksters, like, almost for sure. Folktales do love the rule of three, I guess. Though a lot of stories do. I'm hardly an expert. What does Mountain Roulette have to give us today? It's a bird. One of many birds. Isn't there actually like a teleport in Namai? Yeah, there is. Oops. The camera was angled like in such a way that you could just see a random cat butt sticking out from behind a rock in the distance. Anyway. Trouble? None that I can think of, for bless and all has been peaceful. It would be funny if this quest step was entirely, nothing has happened here at all. Have there been any quarrels of late? Why, yes, actually. Just the other day, the two of us were at each other's throats over persimmon. She was only supposed to eat half, but she went and gobbled the whole thing. In the end, she purchased this one by way of apology, so I let bygones be bygones. What's that? This isn't the sort of quarrel you're speaking of. What sort of quarrels were you inquiring about? Imagine just walking up to someone and be like, hey, argued with your wife lately or whatever? It's important to know. Wife, neighbor. Impossible to know the relation of those two random people. By the Kami's grace, our quaint village has not seen strife since the Imperials were ousted. There's been news, however, of a man impersonating Lord Hien at the Enclave. As I'm told, when Lord Hien voiced intentions to invade Nangsha, all present grew wary of the individual. None more so than Lady Yugiri, who saw through the farce immediately. After he was exposed, the villain fled the scene with haste. Unfortunately, efforts to find him have not borne fruit. Hien is like the last person who would declare time to invade! So this guy really doesn't freaking know what he's doing at all. Oh, this is to unlock the, like, Namazu quests. I never did that. Oops. This is maybe a concerning mount to have randomly rolled to pull out in Namai. Maybe a little awkward to have the Imperial Flying Magitech armor show up suddenly here. Oops. Anyway. None of the residents I spoke with reported anything out of the ordinary. How did you fare? Nope. And it seems the villain is not here. Where might he have gone? Suddenly he shows up in the town square and starts trying to make a commotion. Huh? What are you doing here? A friend of yours? Don't hang your head like we're strangers. We just met moments ago. Remember? You asked me how to reach the House of the Fierce. Man, this time bubble's really getting out of control. Moments ago, you say? Can't believe I solved all of Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and Dawntrail in the last few minutes. Gasp. Gasp? Good grief, lass, you're lost, aren't you? I can understand your embarrassment, but I'll tell you the way again. Listen carefully now. Follow the descending paths leading north out of the village until you see a small pond, and simply dive in and swim. The House of the Fierce will be on the other side. What? Why are you telling me this? Could he have impersonated you this time? Oh, that's why. Oh, this doesn't bode well. We must hurry. You know what? I should have expected this. Much obliged, sir. If only I had Dark Knight at level 90 or level 100. This would seem like a hippo time. This would seem like a good quest for Dark Knight now. Be like, no, idiot. This is my shadow. The true self, not you. Stop it. Cut it out. Just how far must we swim to reach this place? I dare say my days spent in the lakes back home are about to come in handy. And yeah, that's true. How do you go up from here? Seeing a second Sucro is so weird. Coward's not giving fake Sucro any dial. Oh, there it is. My friends, it's come to my attention that the Khan of the Azim Steppes' mighty Oranir tribe conspires in the shadows to invade Doma. God, he's even exaggerating the accent. He's so bad at impersonating Sucro. Citation needed. Like, he's exaggerating it so much, clearly.
It's me, world-famous adventurer. The big guy is ready to launch.
What? We must not give him a chance. Invasion would mean all-out war. There's only one solution. Under the cover of darkness, you must assassinate the Khan. Only with his death can this crisis be averted. Why is this fake Sucro voice gone into, like, exaggerated, like... This is turned into, like, that one preacher boss from Persona Q. Oh, right, yeah, that is the RPG, that is a Mario RPG ability name. That's right. They grow wary. Perhaps I should observe my targets more carefully. With all due respect, these allegations must be brought before Lord Hien. It's imperative we receive his instruction before acting. That would be playing right into the Oranir's hands. After all, an imposter disguised as Lord Hien was but recently exposed. An Orinir spy, there can be no question. Yet the spies fled, their whereabouts unknown. They could be anyone and anywhere, weaving new schemes even as we speak. They could be you. They could be me. Anyway, decisive action must be taken. That is why I came to you. Should have been voicing this guy like the TF2 spy or something. Just too ridiculous. So the impersonation of Lord Hien was but part of the Orinir's grand scheme? Why are you believing this so readily? Why would those who fought alongside us for Doma's liberation conspire to invade? Forgive me, but you do not seem yourself, Sucro. Something isn't right. Because I'm desperate! A shadow looms over Doma, and only with your help can I cast away its dark pall. Please lend me your strength! Our honored friend Sucro risked life and limb to see Doma free, yet you address her with suspicion and doubt. If she says we must act first to prevent greater bloodshed, then we must act. Real Sucro, get over here already. It is true that she's never led us astray. Brothers and sisters, let us join heads with Sucro once more to drive back this shadow rising over Doma. Howdy. What is the meaning of this? It's that infernal Orinir spy! Quickly, kill her before she can escape! You sound nothing like me. Your Sharaden's here! It's you! Such persistent vermin. Shoot the artifact out of his hand or something. Like, shoot him before he turns into a hawk. If you're going to just shoot him faster. You're not getting away this time. He got away this time. Look, there's Namazu around. And now, are you truly the foremost hunter of your village, or the problem appears to be your aim, not the bow? Are you the best hunter? Seems like a rude thing to say, but... Ah, pathetic! You're nothing like that other girl. What was her name? Ah, yes, Itoka. What? She was fearsome, that one, right up until the moment I drove my blade into her back. Oh. Hey look, the tone did a 180 again. What are they going for here? What is this? Don't tell me you've been masquerading around as Itoka herself. After all, that would make you no better than me. Hiding behind the name of another won't erase the blame you bear for everything that happened. This expression is pretty good. And yeah, this is a Elise and Ida thing. I was just thinking that. The face this guy is making is me trying to understand what tone they're going for in this story. Yeah, there's a lot of mood whiplash within this one even. I'm sorry. I swear I'll explain everything to you later. For now, we should apprise these men and women of the situation. To think he can transform into anyone. A truly fearsome ability. I shall alert Lord Hien to this threat immediately. Rest assured that all of Doma will be on alert. I was completely fooled. I have no words to express my shame. Upon speaking with you again, I realized that though the impostor assumed your guise, he had neither your spirit nor your grace. Forgive me, I will not fall for such a farce again. I guess that's foreshadowing, yeah. He didn't say he was a cat even once. Exactly. Sukro is always saying this. Okay, so how do you escalate from here? Might I have a word? The man impersonating you earlier, I'd recognize his face anywhere. Without a doubt, he is Semidare, a childhood friend. You know him? Please, you must tell us everything. Nod. I've known Semidare nearly my entire life. We learned the shinobi arts together, you see. Roughly 25 years ago, we engaged in our first battle as proud ninja, defending Doma against the Empire's invasion. God, yeah, he's just gonna turn into a final boss or something. Yeah, that would be really funny. With every fiber in our body, we met their mighty match attack with nimble ninjutsu. As if moved by our resolve, the mighty auspice and guardian of Doma, Tamamo Gozen appeared on the field of battle to aid our cause. I think we just learned how we're going to escalate from here. I think he's going to become a fate boss, actually. God, that would be great. I like this random person just like leaping, hanging in the air, having leapt. Yet our efforts were for naught. The Empire's might fell upon Doma like a hammer, and we were crushed beneath their overwhelming force. Oh yeah, I guess that is... I forgot there was a Tamamo Gozen mount, actually. The occupation began soon thereafter, and so too did my work from the shadows. While I devoted myself to resisting the Empire in secret, Semidare was conscripted to their army and forced to become an Imperial spy. I understand he served them well, fanning the flames of war in faraway lands through rumor and manipulation. Indeed, as far back as I can recall, Semidare has ever excelled in the skill of subterfuge. It was only after the prisoner exchange that he returned to Doma at long last, but he was a changed man. He could find no joy or solace in the peace he once fought to secure for our nation. Instead, he sought to disrupt it. Ah, okay. Not exactly the same. War has taught me the truth of this world. Civility is but a facade to hide man's savagery. And I'll prove it here in dear, dear Doma. To what end, though? The fool I am, I thought he was jesting. Only later, when I discovered the web of lies he'd spun to turn folk against one another, did I realize he meant every word. I tried to confront him, but he fled Doma before I had the chance. Nevertheless, I searched his home afterwards and discovered a missive from an organization called the Passage of the Unbound. I have it with me here. Oh, you left your incriminating crime letter. Dear illustrious Semidare, we extend our deepest gratitude for your interest in joining the Passage of the Unbound. With each passing day, our secret order draws closer to its goals, and we shall require exceptional talent for what lies ahead. What specifically about the Garlean recruitment tactics? Because I don't think I remember. They break you down over time until joining is only the logical... Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Bearing these needs in mind, we've decided to welcome you into the fold. To celebrate the start of an auspicious future together, we invite you to meet your colleagues in Tuliolo and have enclosed your ticket within. Exceptional talent? Exceptional egos, more like. This passage of the Unbound kept a watchful eye on nations far and wide to recruit cutthroats like Samidare who only follow their own desires. Yeah, that's true, I guess. Upon his arrival in Tuliolo, Samidare's ambitions guided him to my home, where he stole the Dreamweave cocoon and set out to use it for his own twisted ends. I'm afraid that appears to be the way of it. In all likelihood, it's the passage of the Unbound which alerted him to this Dreamweave cocoon's existence. Today, Samidare attempted to incite war between Doma and the Azim Steppe by wearing the face of our dearest ally, you. Your timely appearance prevented the worst from happening, but so long as he can alter his form and face at will, who can say what tomorrow may bring? His years as a secret operative have made him a master at reading people. Should he decide to study his target before taking their form, I fear his schemes may not be discovered until it's already too late. Please be careful, and may the Kami bless and keep you. Yeah, he kind of forgot the other half of that 5th edition assassin subclass skill, where you have to, like, study the target first. What a weird class, by the way. I'm always thinking about how the assassin is the weirdest rogue subclass in 5e. Attempting to find Samidare now would be a fruitless endeavor. He could be any bird in the sky, or any beast roaming the wild. Maybe weirdest subclass is like... Maybe not necessarily, but there's a lot of... It's weird in terms of how it's designed, not like what its theme is. Let us return to Kugane. I'll reveal everything to you there, I promise. You know, you do make a good point. This guy does kind of stand out. In that way. Alright, Itoka. Tell me the plot. The other part of it. I'm grateful for your help today. Once again, I let our prey slip away. The only silver lining is that we know who he is now. More importantly, I apologize for deceiving you. As Samidare said, I'm not the greatest hunter of my home. I am not Itoka. I'm Kuiki. Kuiki. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's harder to pronounce, oh no. Kuiki. I hail from the same village as Itoka, and I too am a hunter, but only in name. You've seen my aim for yourself. Yet the most shameful of all is that it's my fault the Dreamweave cocoon was stolen. Normally it is enshrined in the deepest recesses of our home. Only Itoka had leave to wield it. The forest provides shelter and sustenance to many, and not all we share its bounty with are friendly. When great beasts threaten our home, the cocoon's power may be used to protect our lives. Yet I used it for my own foolish desires. I couldn't take it anymore. I was a hunter, yet I could barely catch prey large enough to feed myself. I was forced to wash clothes, prepare meals, and tune bows. Just once, I wanted to be acknowledged. I wanted to feel pride. So I used the cocoon's power to transform myself into Itoka. With her dexterity and finesse, I finally caught prey befitting a true hunter. And as I carried my prize home, he appeared. I found him collapsed in the middle of a beaten path. I never had reason to mistrust someone before, so I approached the nurse's wounds. Yet the moment I drew close, he knocked the cocoon from my grasp and struck me unconscious. He was long gone by the time I awoke. I confessed my sin to the village elder, and in her boundless grace she forgave me. But I could not forgive myself. I left home that very eve in secret to pursue the thief, all the way to Kugane. After several days of fruitlessly scouring the city, who should I see but Toka? As our most exceptional hunter, it came as no surprise the elder had charged her with recovering the cocoon. She was astonished to see me, of course. I had told no one of my actions. I feared she would send me home, but when I expressed to her my shame, my anger, she consoled me and told me we would find the cocoon together. Okay, so you weren't disguised as Itoka, you were just saying you were Itoka? Because that doesn't look like you're disguised there. Or what you look like. Okay. And I was certain we would, until the day that duplicitous bastard killed her. You appeared soon after her passing. I thought with someone as strong as you at my side, maybe, just maybe I could avenge her. So I lied. Like Samidare said, I am no better than he is. I'm an imposter, but my desire to reclaim the cocoon is every bit as strong as Itoka's was. I'm so sorry for lying to you, Sukro. I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive me and continue to aid me in reclaiming the Dreamweave cocoon. Thank you for telling me the truth. Of course I'll help. I had my suspicions, but I also had faith in you and it's been rewarded. Or how could I say no? You know, thanks for being honest. Of course I'll help. It's raining a lot during this questline. Thank you. I know with you at my side I can keep my promise to Itoka. For now, I'll remain vigilant for any news regarding conflict in the region. Please do pay me a visit when you find a moment to spare. I'm counting on you. Kuiki. Probably Kuiki? Kuiki? They're never going to say this in voice acting, so I don't know. I'll have to do my best. Sukro, I'm so relieved to see you. I thought you might resent me for lying to you, that you might refuse to lend me your help again. I'd certainly be hard-pressed to reclaim the cocoon alone in this foreign land. I truly meant what I said before. I'm counting on you. Though I'm ashamed to admit it, when I first arrived here, I was nearly swindled out of an heirloom by a talking catfish. I'd been scouring the city for a shop to pawn my choker so I could secure a room and board, you see, when the catfish approached me claiming it'd buy the necklace for a fair price. Offered me a handful of coins that glittered like gold. I was about to accept the offer when Itoka appeared. In mere moments, she discerned that the catfish's currency was counterfeit and ended the transaction then and there. She dragged me to the markets afterwards and pawned her own necklace to secure lodgings for the both of us. From the moment she arrived, Itoka took care of everything. What I'm trying to say is I can't do anything on my own. I'm reckless and impulsive, and I'm just really glad to have you by my side. Yeah, probably. Very likely similar catfish, or same catfish. It's been some time, my friends. Pray forgive my sudden visit, but I come bearing urgent tidings. Ah, we spoke with you at the House of the Fierce. What brings you all this way? I was able to make contact with Samidare. I told him I was willing to make amends and join my oldest friend in exposing the lies in people's hearts. He responded most eagerly and bade me meet him in secret. Oh, wait, really? Did he say where? Aye, Hell's Lid. I had a mind to lay an ambush for him, but not knowing the extent of the power he wields, I thought it best to seek help. Shoutouts to Seasoned Ninja. A very competent guy with a great idea. And so I come here to beg your aid, Sukro. Your strength and valor are unequaled, and we cannot apprehend Samadari without you. We may never get another chance to catch him unawares like this. There's no time to lose. Nod. Wait, forgive me for speaking plain, Huntress, but I fear we would only be a hindrance to Sucro when the fighting begins. Let us go to Hell's Lid by skiff and meet her after the villain is subdued. Oh, I take your point. You're right. Without us there to distract her, Sucro can focus wholeheartedly on the battle. But, Kuiki, half the reason I was supposed to do this quest as melee DPS is because it'd be good backup for an archer. Or a good pairing with an archer. Sorry, would you mind going it alone? We'll be there as soon as we can. Well, alrighty then. Seasoned ninja joining the illustrious ranks of important, smart NPCs who deserve a lot of credit but don't even get a name. I mean, I guess so, but it doesn't seem like he needs people to be around to disguise as them. The roulette gave me the alpaca. I didn't press the alpaca button, I pressed the roulette button. Part of me is expecting this guy to be like, have you heard about this guy named Xenos? And then become Xenos. I'm just gonna like yell and throw my computer out the window. First, I will carefully disconnect all parts of my computer so that I can throw it out the window piece by piece. It will be a very delayed reaction. Well, it can copy clothing and stuff, given that he had Sucro's exact outfit. Including the face accessory, now that I think about it. I don't know if that's significant. I guess that's true too. You see no sign of Samadari. Perhaps his lair is further ahead. I wasn't thinking about it during the cutscene where he was Sucro, so I didn't see if he had the swords or not. Or if he just had the outfit. You know, it's also entirely possible that Seasoned Ninja was Samadari in disguise just now, luring us out to kill us, or whatever. You still see no sign of Samadari, but feel an unsettling presence. Yeah, that's definitely true. Oh, hey. How do I play Viper again? I'm doing it wrong. Well, I did it right enough. The freaking behemoth. Ridiculous. Maybe he's gonna be like Susano or something. Since he's over here. Samadari is nowhere to be found. There's naught to do but await your companion's arrival. It was a trick. Maybe. Hey, you alright? Yeah, where's Seasoned Ninja at? I came as soon as... Oh, is the battle over already? Where's Samadari? I was attacked, but not by him. What? So this was a trap? Wait, over there! Wait, what? What's happening? Oh. I don't entirely understand what just happened. Oh, okay, so you were disguised as Squeaky. Thank goodness I made it. After all that time I spent in that old Kojin shell convincing his underlings to attack you, my blade was mere ilms from the skin of your back. Alas. A meticulous plan gone to waste. Seems I underestimated your strength and the failed huntress's tenacity. I dare say I'm outmatched, and no common beast I might mimic can stand against you. I must contemplate your deaths with more care, more rigor. Look forward to our next meeting. Sucre looks really cute in this outfit. Thank you. I feel like it's not a very Sucro-like outfit, really. Also, I think Sucro is pretty cute most of the time, so, you know. Forgive me, I needed to catch my breath. Samadari's friend was the villain himself. As soon as the skiff made it to the open sea, he threw me overboard. I damn near had to swim like a fish to make it here in time. He's made me into a fool, again. He waylaid me before using a similar ruse. By the time I figured out what was what, Itoka was already... I always wondered how a craven like Samadari was able to kill her. Wait, a craven like Samadari was able to kill her? Typo detected. Our greatest hunter, and now I know. When Itoka felt the blade in her back and turned to see the face of her killer, she saw me. I'm glad I was able to prevent history from repeating itself. I don't want to lose you, too. We should return to Kugane. Samadari may have planted more than one trap for us here. So once we actually retrieve this artifact, we have to, like, make sure we lock it in the most secure storage possible, right? Because, like, this is a severely dangerous thing to have lying around. As we're learning. Also, now that I think about it, I'm really wondering how the epilogue to this is gonna go when all of the artifacts end up getting retrieved, so none of the Unbound have the artifact powers anymore. Unless they, like, find the artifact that's all of the artifacts and they stole that or something. I feared the worst as I rushed to reach you. The moment Samadari was in sight, I charged without thinking, which, in retrospect, was probably for the best. Had I tried to shoot him from afar with my bow, I might have missed, or worse yet, hit you instead. In any case, I'm just relieved you're safe. I promise to be more wary from now on, particularly of familiar faces. It hardly needs saying, but remember to keep your guard up as well. Yeah? For now, I'll resume my efforts to gather information about Samadari's whereabouts. You'll be the first to know when I have a lead, or once I have a lead. Imposter syndrome. But I get jello from it? Wow. Of course they'd call a quest in this line imposter syndrome. Good to see you, Sucro. Or should I say Samidare? There's only one way to be sure. I need you to tell me something only you and I would know. When I used the cocoon to take on Itoka's form, what creature did I hunt? You didn't tell me that one. I was gonna say, you never told me that. It's really you! Whatever, that's a relief. Indeed, I never told you that my arrow struck a great wild boar. A prize for any hunter. Samidare is the only one who ever saw it. Sorry for doubting you, but I could think of no better way to expose him if he'd attempted to impersonate you again. I have to remain vigilant after all, even though no news of his plots has reached me as of late. From here to Yangsha, people are on alert for a many-faced agitator within their midst. The many-faced agitator. That's definitely the name of like an FOE you'd run into in an Etrian type of game. In my opinion. Within their midst. And not even a stray cat is beyond scrutiny. That's a really funny line to include here, given Sucro. While Samidare can no longer act so brazenly, I'm afraid this means his trail's gone cold. We also have another problem. When he pushed me into the Ruby Sea, the remedy I carried was soaked in salt water. I'm afraid it's no longer effective. Oh. No doubt his plan from the start was to eliminate the one means we had of undoing the cocoon's mimicry. You say that, but you undid the mimicry by tackling him, like in the previous cutscene. We're at a disadvantage too great to ignore, which is why I intend to synthesize a new batch. I was just about to go procure the necessary ingredients from the supplier when you arrived. Why don't you join me? Nod. So what do you think the odds are that Kuiki here is actually Samidare again somehow? I'd say it's at least distinctly possible. Oh look, a sightseeing log I never got. Also, now that we're going to, like, directly learn the ingredients of the anti-disguise potion, anytime anyone is ever in disguise in the future, we can think about, why didn't they use the anti-disguise potion that's readily available? Unless it only works specifically on the cocoon. That's the one of the many funny things about adding new elements to your story. I've never heard of such materials. Where are they found? Oh, deep in the forests of Tyrol, a land beyond the Great Sea and far, far to the west of here. Tyrol? I'm, afraid my supply chain does not extend quite that far. I mean, I guess we should have seen this coming. Further odd camera, or further like noticeably different camera cinematography just happened right there. For some reason, the melee DPS role quest line is giving me the distinct impression of a different director. I assume that they have like a director sort of position for this sort of thing. I guess it could just be a different writer. Do the writers also write cutscene direction? I don't know. I feared as much. It doesn't help that the materials can only be harvested when the season is right. Even were I to return home now, I doubt I could find what we need. Okay, we're establishing that the anti-disguise potion is really difficult to make, actually. We have no choice but to give up on the remedy. I'm sorry. Now we're at the mercy of Samidare's cunning. Hello there. Tell me, have you any salves that might ease my aching back? Hello, I'm old. Sir, this isn't the apothecary. Where are your spectacles? Oh, yes. How could I forget? Ah, much better. Sometimes I forget I'm as blind as a bat without these. Forgive me, Shirokashi. Are you being amazed by glasses right now? Excuse me, but do those bits of glass covering your eyes help you see better? Wait. Is there suddenly a twist where you're going to be an excellent hunter as soon as you have glasses and you just didn't know you needed glasses this whole time? I actually think that's good. I like that. That's fun. It's an oddity with the tone again, but I do think it's a fun... It's kind of fun. I like it. I like this one. Well, yes. Are you unfamiliar with spectacles? I've seen folk wearing them before, but I always thought they were decorative, like my choker. Tell me, where can I procure a pair of my own? Yamabuki is your man. He has the breadth of artisan contacts who will ensure you receive a pair fine-tuned to your specifications. You'll find his shop on this very street. Also, I guess Sucro can probably relate to this, funnily enough. Because I think we, like, collectively decided that when she put on glasses as a disguise, that was when she realized that they helped her see better. I think we came to this conclusion. So amusingly enough, Sucro finds this to be relatable, I think maybe. You'll find his shop on this very street. I'll look for him, thank you. That's funny. Questioning head tilt? I'm sorry, you must be completely bewildered. I thought a failure of a hunter like me would never be able to aid you in battle, but I've just come to realize there's hope yet. But let's not crowd this stall any longer. Care to join me over there? Okay, so you did spy the person impersonating you from some sort of distance. So does that mean that... Okay, I was just gonna say, does that mean you're like nearsighted? Or... And she just said she's nearsighted. Ever since I was a child, I've had trouble seeing things from afar. That's why my aim with the bow is so poor. I'm not fit to be a hunter, never was. It's only natural that chores like washing sheets and preparing meals fell to me. But I always yearned to do more, to be more. I've looked up to Itoka ever since I can remember. No matter how hard I tried, I simply couldn't give up on my dream. I had to be just like her. I guess you can't use the power of the artifact to make yourself into yourself with better vision. But if you make yourself into someone else who has better vision, then... So I begged her to teach me everything she knew, from the basics of drawing a bow to precise aiming techniques that few hunters use. Yet despite all her efforts, my sight failed me when where it counted most. All my life, I thought this was simply how nature intended for me to be. I was content to accept my lot. But now that I know spectacles may improve my eyesight, I feel hope. If I could just try them, mayhap my arrows would fire true. And yeah, this is like a subtle way of transforming your body to gain power, as you put it. I could join you in battle and maybe even strike down Samadari with my own arrow. We may have lost the remedy, but this would give us an element of surprise. I'm not entirely sure what theme you're saying this is on the theme of, but I do like this idea of like, I thought I just had to work this, I was just forced to be this way forever until I found a solution to my problem. I do like that as a general like theme and plot element. It might be because of my chronic health stuff that I appreciate this plot element. Yeah, surprise, this is a story about disability now. Exactly. Meaning I can relate to it even more. I often forget that I count as disabled. Like, the idea of whether or not something counts as disabled is kind of not a great idea. Like, don't gatekeep that sort of thing. But, like, I always forget to count myself in that. Anyway. So I have to try on spectacles for myself. Nod. Alright, let's go meet this Yamabuki. But the glasses were in evil disguise and they poisoned your face. Oh no! Probably not. I honestly hope that this bit is entirely without the villain and it's just getting Queeky some glasses. I wonder what procuring a pair of spectacles entails. I suddenly care, like, a lot more about this character. Like, she was already a good character, like, a good enough character. But now I'm like, yes, I will protect you. I will help you. A pair of spectacles, is it? I can certainly get your order in the pipeline, but I'm afraid there will be a wait. I'm fresh out of supplies, you see, and the next shipment isn't due for a number of weeks or a few class levels. Or whatever. Of course, if you're in a rush, you could roll up your sleeves and get the materials yourselves. All you need is the glossy shell of an azure hawksbill and a cluster of Arland quartz. Bring them here and my affiliates can begin work immediately. Who knows what schemes Samidari might contrive should we let down our chase for weeks. Would you be willing to lend me a hand with procuring the materials? If we split up, we should be able to gather them in the blink of an eye. Quite the eager pair, I see. In that case, I dare say you'll be able to negotiate with the Blue Kojin for a carapace of splendid quality. Yeah. That is neat. Unless there are people who... Unless the Warrior of Lights in question actually do wear the glasses as a decoration, like Queeky thought they were. Ah, I visited Tamamizu during my investigations in the Ruby Sea. I'll handle the shell. Nod. That leaves you with the Arland Quartz. Pray look for a cavern near Shoal Rock in the Ruby Sea. Sprinkle some glittering gravel to lure a Shoal Iwamushi from its lair within and retrieve a cluster from its shell. Let's meet back here when we're finished. Alrighty then. Honestly, they could give me role quests with no stakes and no true villains that are just like helping that are things similar to helping someone realize they need glasses and then helping them get glasses, and I'd be like completely fine with that as a set of quests. Not everything needs to have like stakes, I guess. Yeah. Is this something I have to go underwater to get? I forget. It's around, I guess. No, it's in here. Okay. Yeah, the tone is still all over the place in this one. I remembered a little bit of how to play Viper. You press the buttons. I think in the end, like, I didn't end up liking Viper as much as I hoped that I would. But I think that's more because I just don't like melee DPS in this game that much. At this particular moment, I still have the mental debuff of I have to play a tank because otherwise any mistakes that I make will kill me instantly and make me feel bad. But I do like the tanks, so that's fine at least. Ah, you're the first to return. I trust you have the quartz in hand? Please don't be the guy in disguise. Let us just honestly get glasses for people. Excellent, this will make for a fine pair of lenses. Now we need only wait for your friend. I'm back. Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean to alarm you like that. I spoke with the Kojin of the Blue as planned, but soon learned that Hawksbill's shells have been sparse of late. They were reluctant to part with a single one. I was able to wear them down, though, until they proposed an exchange. If I dealt with the Red Kojin who'd invaded their fishing grounds, they'd spare a shell. I knew my bow would be useless, so I took a leaf out of Sucro's book and fought him up close and personal. As you can see, I took quite the beating, but so did they. See, earlier when you tackled the guy, I thought this was going to be leading in a direction of you learning that you're better with a different sort of combat than archery. And this is also supporting that hypothesis, but also you needed glasses, so I don't know. I may be a little worse for wear, but the trouble was worth it. I have the shell as promised, and with it your associates can get started. Indeed they can. Thank you for petting Calico. Let us first measure your eyesight, and then they can get to work. Oh, this is incredible. Everything is so vivid. Yeah. When I wore glasses, the first time I got glasses, one of the first things I realized was that trees have individual leaves on them. Crazy. Completely wild thing to notice. The spectacles emote, good. I also love the extremely triumphant music for She Got Glasses. Why, I'm sure I could hit a bird over the horizon. Come, Sucro, I want to fire some test shots at that sign over there. Hold on, that seems like a fine way to earn the ire of the Sekisegumi. I'll prepare some targets for you, so let's move somewhere less crowded. Of course, thank you for going to the trouble. Nod. Eventually, I couldn't really deal with, like, the feeling of glasses on my face all the time. It was, and, like, stuff like that, and I got laser eye surgery. And that's worked out pretty well. Anyway. How's this gonna go? Bullseye! Nod sternly. A solemn nod. Another one. Well, not dead center, but very close. Oh, there's one back there. Also a bullseye. I did it! I really did it! After all these years, my aim is true! God, like, I think this is the only character to, like, cue this triumphant music for a moment of growth other than Wuklamot. I never really did archery. I mean, I probably tried to fire a bow at some point when I was really young, but it makes sense. They have an archer class, and as much as they do a lot of unnecessary flips, probably, they probably had to have done some research into how bows work. Yeah. I feel like astigmatism in particular would really mess with your archery aim, so I wouldn't be too surprised if she had that in some way. Nod. When we find Samidari, he won't know what hit him. Whenever there's a "they won't know what hit them" joke, I want it to be followed up by them immediately recognizing that they got hit with an arrow or whatever. Like, he won't know what hit him. And then he gets shot and goes, "Ow, I got shot by an arrow." And they were like, "I guess he knew what hit him." That's the sort of joke I would probably make. I don't know if I can properly describe this feeling to you. After so long, I don't feel like someone pretending to be a hunter. Finally, I don't feel like a burden. As soon as I catch even a whiff of Samidari's trail, we stop him for good. When that moment arrives, please lend me your strength for one last time. Together, we'll retrieve the cocoon and return it to my village. Also, here's this jello that I found. Thanks for the jello, Queeky. Your timing could not have been more impeccable, Sucro. A person claiming to be an acquaintance of yours stopped by just moments ago, wishing to have a word. About Samidari, no less. Yeah. This quest suddenly turned into disability theme. Which makes me like it a lot more. I feel like this one is like sort of like roughly cobbled together in a similar way to the ranged DPS one, but it has a character with like a side plot that is better executed and more relatable. So I'm thinking currently that it's also the quest that showcases the fashion accessory mechanic. Sort of. In the same way, it's also showcasing one of the few things that Avira can wear that resembles a hat. Kind of. Anyway, but yeah, I think ranged physical DPS is the worst one, in my opinion, and the best one is the healer quest. And yeah, like, I've become very endeared to Queeky here. So that gives it a lot of points. I like her little character arc. The tank one is like, I think the tank one is like the definition of mid, maybe? Like, it's fine, it's interesting, we learned some cool stuff, but it's kind of just like, it's alright. It's not bad. Tank one is C tier, definitely. Like, on a tier list where C is still like acceptable and good, Tank one's middle of the bunch. Healer one's the best one. Ranged physical DPS is the worst one. So I think the way it goes for me is probably healer is the best one, followed by magic DPS, if I remember correctly which one that was, which I only sort of do, but I think it was good. Followed by this one for Queeky, and then tank, and then ranged physical is like notably worse than the tank one. Healer's the only one. Yeah, healer's the only one that understood the assignment. That's a good way of putting it. I think ranged DPS is the only one that just feels off. Like, this one kind of feels a bit off, but it's saved by a good character. They're presently waiting in my room, so give me just a moment and I'll bring them here. Nod. There's a high chance that this mysterious acquaintance is Samidari, though, right? Oh, Serena, what are you doing here? Surprise, it's Serena. Just abruptly. Wait. Yeah, like Serena showing up out of nowhere is also very strange. I don't mind, she's cool. Does this mean that the final fight is going to be against him impersonating Seidu or something? Is Serena like scooting into the screen to be like, my girlfriend's an imposter? Help! You look well, Sucro. Forgive me for eschewing pleasantries, but there's an urgent matter I wish to discuss. Questioning head tilt. We have to determine that she's not an imposter. When we first met in Reunion, what did you purchase at the market? Or what did we eat the night before our trial in Bardham's Metal? I don't remember the answer to either of these. What did you buy at the market? Kinsai, as I recall. I had insufficient funds to purchase it myself, so you helped me gather Whisper Root to trade for it instead. I also don't recall this at all. Nod. It would seem you too have grown wary of imposters. Then we can proceed straight into the heart of the matter. You appeared in Mol Ilo a few days ago, claiming Hien had been driven to madness. He just tried Sucro again? Come on, man. That he was assembling an army in Doma with plans to conquer the Azim Steppe. For a blessing, we'd already received word from a Doman envoy that an agitator was mimicking others and saw the ruse for what it was. Unfortunately, when we attempted to capture them, the imposter transformed into a sheep and disappeared among the bands grazing on the plains. Okay, you can do a different animal besides hawk, that's something. When I informed our friends in Doma of the incident, I was told you had been using Kugane as a base to track down the perpetrator, and thought it best to apprise you of this happening. Samidare, he won't relent. His schemes won't end until we make them end. We may discover a clue as to his whereabouts in Reunion. If anyone in the steppe has seen him, that is where they will be. Now I must alert the other tribes to this threat. May the winds speed your way. Nod. Okay, maybe he's not going to impersonate Seidu, but I feel like Seidu's probably going to show up suddenly. Off to the Azim Steppe, then. With any luck, someone in Reunion will have insight to offer. Also a high chance of Magni now. Maybe he'll turn into Magni, and Magni will be like, I look like that, and have an existential crisis about something. For comedy reasons. Even though there's nothing obviously strange or... Oh, hello. Hello, this mount. There's nothing obviously, like, that would cause an existential crisis about the way Magni looks, but maybe he'd find something. This looks pretty unsafe, Sucro. Oh, this one wiggles a lot. Wiggle, wiggle. I could have just teleported to Reunion. Conflict is forbidden in Reunion. This is known. As for my tribe, all is at peace. I heard a rumor of interest, however. It seems Magni of the Ornir has been behaving strangely. God dang it, it's Magni. I was close. Magni of the Ornir has been behaving strangely of late. Perhaps that's related to the matter you're investigating? Consider looking into the rumors about Magni. You may find what you're looking for at the end of that trail. Oh, that's something completely unrelated. I forgot. Someone stirring up trouble. A quarrel among the tribes is as common as the rising sun. Not a day goes by without it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have goods to sell. Kindly continue your inquiries elsewhere. Stories of quarrels in this land are as common as grazing sheep. I will be surprised if Seydu doesn't show up at all. But if Cyrena was here, it had to be one of those two. Conflict, not besides the normal quarrels between tribes. Certainly no disputes on the scale you speak of. But I have heard rumors that Magnai has been sneaking up from the Dawn Throne. Where could he be going, and to do what, I wonder? You know what, actually? The best conclusion to this particular set of things is that it's actually just Magnai and he's just being a weirdo. He's just being weird. Just doing Magnai things, and this is a fake out. This is a red herring. I'd believe it, considering that it's Magnai. God, is he going to like think Kliki is his Nama or something? Jeez. Were you able to learn anything of interest? This guy who sucks is being weird again. I've also heard the rumors pertaining to this Magnai. One person even stated they saw him headed toward a place called Bardam's Meadow not long ago. Mayhap his is the form Samadare has chosen to take on. Whatever the case may be, we'll find the answer at Bardam's Meadow. We can't allow Samadare's depravities to go on any longer. Steel yourself, for when next we face him, we're putting an end to all of this. Okay, I guess it's normal. I mean, I guess it's not normal. Good, you're ready. Once the battle begins, there's no telling which form Samadare might take. An imminent warrior, a fearsome beast, or worse. He's also shown more scrupulous behavior in his preparations of late. Whatever his form, we would do best to assume he has thoroughly studied its strengths and will use them to full effect. Is he going to imitate the minigame boss in Bardam's Meadow? Yet I'm not the feeble hunter I was before. Together with your martial might and my exacting eye, we will defeat him. At long last, Itoka shall have her vengeance, and my village shall see the cocoon returned. If I had to ascertain whether it was truly Magnai by asking a question, I would ask him what Ishtola called him that one time. Okay, they're both here. Okay, Magnai's being weird because he's faking being Seydu and, like, having a crush on him. Oh no. My beautiful bright sun, I would bask in your warmth till my flesh returns to the earth. And then Magnai died on the spot. Train noise? Okay, so I was right when I said he was impersonating Seydu, but like, I didn't combine all of the things I was thinking of into this comedy situation. Has the feral dog gone rabid? You speak these honeyed words to lure me into your cot only to slit my throat as I sleep. I don't know what my Magnai voice was. Hush, fool, I'm your Nama. Though we've had our disagreements in the past, I've come to understand my actions were born of love. Yet only now that I'm forced to wed do I realize this. Despite my shame, I wish to confess my feelings before it's too late. Forced to wed? Wed? A Datharli beast like you? To whom? To what? Hien of Doma, of course. By becoming kin, he seeks to leverage the influence of the Dotharl to claim dominion over the steppe. The Doman knows no shame. Magnai would believe this immediately. Very well, I will consider your proposal. Far-fetched though it may be, I cannot overlook the possibility that you are my Nama. But first, we must gather our warriors. The Doman's impudence cannot go unpunished. We march for Doma come morrow's dawn. Evil grin. That is not your moon. Do we say that's not Seidu or that is not your moon? Probably this one. This one's funny, but this one is like more... Look, Magnai will just be like, oh, she's not my wife? Okay. And not piece together the other important part of this statement. That ain't Seidu. You! What are you doing here? Is it not obvious? They are spies of Doma, come to quash any thought of resistance. You must kill them quickly. What? She is the Han. I forgot how to say that word again. Okay. Just golf club him in the face. I guess that's a way to use a staff. You two are quite the persistent pair. I'd hoped to strike at your backs from the shadows, but now you forced my hand. I will select from my repertoire the greatest warriors I have witnessed, and use their strength to give you the death you so crave. Unbound Silvertongue Samadare. Okay, so you're gonna do like a greatest hits, beginning with her. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. How dare you! When my arrow pierces your breast, Itoka will finally know peace. And yeah, I don't know if the Dotharl have a ton of like influence in that way. Oh, you have a dream woven mimicry, mimicking the form of another through the power of the dreamweave cocoon. Also, I'm taking back what you stole. Also, this is one of the few instances of not the comedy boss theme. Take it if you dare from the hands of Itoka herself. So, we're switching tone again immediately after the goofy golf club moment to play this song. With this artifact, her mastery is mine to wield. Oh, that's my AoE combo over there. Also, no positionals. You know, I feel like if they were gonna give positionals to any boss fight, it would have to be the melee DPS one, right? Even a command over beasts, now come forth and swarm my foes. Wait, Beast Mastery mentioned? Oh, hey, it's Garula again. I mean, of course it's Garula. Why wouldn't it be Garula here? Let us see how fleet of foot you are. I forgot my buttons. Yeah, I took a lot of damage there for some reason. Stubborn fools. Very well, I shall borrow the might of that brutish Orinir. You will scuttle about no more. You know, he did do this, that's true. Now to deliver the coup de grace with that Dotharly devil. Ha! Not of you will remain. I don't think we had an action time moment prior to now in these quests. Damn you, so be it, I will assume her form. Oh, music change. Yeah, I figured you were gonna do this. Tremble before the mighty auspice, Tamamo Gozen. I did call this one. Wait. I messed up. I don't know if all my inputs are going through. Yeah, there's a lot of weird lag happening, actually, I think. Like, if you watch my bars, there's some weird things going on. Like, stuff is not moving to the wasn't moving to the next phase. Like, buttons weren't changing properly, things weren't counting down properly. I shall drink deep of the ambient ether and render you to ash. Are they still being DDoSed? I wouldn't be too surprised by this. Such baleful energy. We'll be in trouble if we don't do something. Cool attack. Wait. Oh, I didn't use Ouroboros yet. I will not lose to vermin like you. Presumably Magni wakes up and deals the finishing blow or whatever. No? I guess we just won. Now he tries to turn into a bird and actually gets shot successfully. Wait, does this mean, like, this person in the Unbound is just going to be actually dead? None of them have actually, like, died before. I don't know why we're doing this extremely dramatic, ridiculous slow motion moment, either. I mean, like, if you turn into a bird and you get shot out of the air as a bird... you can only survive by the force of comedy at this point. Unfortunately for us, comedy was here to cushion his fall. That guy should be freaking dead. That drop in Barnum's medal doesn't do any damage. Also, Magni is still face down in the dirt. Itoka, it's finally done. What am I doing here? I feel as though I've just woken from the strangest dream. Well, you see... this cowardly cur assaulted you from behind and knocked you unconscious. That's not wrong. You have shown the sun disgrace this day. You will feel his scorn impressed upon your flesh. You shall forget the warmth of his radiance. In the shadows you will scream, yet none will hear. Prepare yourself. What? What? The tone again. The tone again. We're going beyond Hildebrand, or like to the side of it. They're inventing new strange faces for characters to make either in preparation for Hildebrand or like in imitation of Hildebrand. Death would have been too good a fate for him. He deserves to spend the rest of his days feeling the weight of his crimes. Now we've honored Itoka's memory and reclaimed the cocoon. Some sort of... yeah, exactly. No words can express my gratitude, Sucro. I can finally go home, but my community awaits our foremost hunter's triumphant return. Expression will come over their faces when the village disgrace arrives instead. I don't know if I can bear to see. I don't know, I think you proved yourself, Kuiki. Our journey to reclaim the Dreamweave cocoon has come to an end at long last. Would that I could return home in high spirits. As I recall, you said Shashepya is the one who requested your help, yes? Let us make the journey back to Tulayolo and report to her all that has happened. So, the tone in the physical range DPS ones was all over the place. But I feel like the tone in these is actually more all over the place. Like, it slingshots back and forth between relatively far apart tones. Like, I don't know if I would say extremes necessarily, but like, the tones that it's trying to decide between are farther apart from each other. Yeah, a slingshot is, I think, a correct word for it. That having been said, I still think this one is better than the ranged physical DPS on account of I like the character more. And possibly better than the tank one as well, because I like the character more. You're back! Were you able to retrieve the Dreamweave cocoon? Itoka isn't with you? There's a lot to explain. Kuiki, thank goodness you're alive! Nod. And thus a lot was explained. May her soul rest in the cocoon's embrace. I can't believe Itoka is gone. Yes, our village's greatest hunter is lost to us, while its greatest failure survives. Here, take the cocoon back where it belongs, home. I have no right to return. Don't be ridiculous. You are a child of the forest. You are our dear sister. You can always, always come home. Wait, doesn't that contradict Vieira lore in some way? The entire village has been worried sick about you. We all saw how crestfallen you were, so when you suddenly disappeared, we feared you took your life. For 3 days and 3 nights, we scoured land and water to find you. Hey, the tone slingshotted again. It went from funny, wacky Mitomo face expression to, we thought you committed suicide. Jesus Christ, I'm glad you're alive. Jeez. Alright, but like, still. I don't know why I said but still there. But like, slingshotting tone, absolutely. Yet look at you now, Queeky. Not only are you hale and whole, but you have reclaimed the cocoon too. I'm sure that Itoka's spirit hunting in the forests above is smiling down at you with pride. And she would much rather you take up her mantle and protect the village than wallow in guilt over her death. Nothing escapes your gaze now, after all, isn't that right? Thank you, Shashepya. It's settled. You will return home with me, and finally our village can breathe a sigh of relief. Nod. And it would be remiss of me not to thank you properly, Sucro, for assisting Queeky and reclaiming the Dreamweave cocoon. You have my heartfelt gratitude. And like, when I say, isn't this against Vieira lore, like, they did directly, like, refer to themselves as Vieira, though granted they didn't say like they were specifically one of the playable sections of Vieira, or like subgroups, like cultures, whatever. I'm missing whatever word is the most correct for that. But like, of the established Vieira, the ones who do live in forests, well, I guess they all live in forests primarily, but like, established Vieira that we know of, generally people leave the village, that's not great for them in the eyes of many. So I guess this could just be a different group. Shrug. I was little more than a liar and a hypocrite when we first met. Or they're retconning that part out of the lore, that's also possible. But during our time together, I discovered I'm so much more than that. I'm so much more than that. With the right tools, even I could become a hunter worthy of following in Itoka's footsteps. I'm truly grateful to you for helping me to see that. Farewell for now, Sucro. I hope that one day our paths may cross again. Nod. Spectacles emote. Yeah. Like, her whole character arc is extremely disability focused. Yeah, that is a very disability sort of thing too, for sure. Dreams woven anew. So not just like the eyesight part of the disability, but also like the mental health stuff related to disability. Both like mental health being a disability, of course, and also like mental health stuff being a disability, and also the mental health stuff that is as a result of the other disabilities and so on. Very disability focused character arc in general. I probably didn't need to say all of those extra words in a roundabout way. Anyway, that's the last of the Dawntrail the role quests. And hooray. Until the epilogue, of course. And there's Lanzknecht, whatever, Sucro. But yeah, I really do hope that we see more of all these characters. There are a lot of fun characters in the role quests. And also, I'm forgetting a lot of the characters from the role quests already, but like, still. I'm glad you like the outfit. The reason I went to make an Etrian Odyssey outfit for Sucro was like just in case I tried to make a custom portrait of Sucro for an Etrian Odyssey when I get to one of them where that would be relevant. But I'm not entirely certain that I will do that. And like, to me, the most... Like, this outfit's still good too. I need to update the stream assets that use this outfit that I'm not using anymore. But like, to me, the most accurate current Sucro outfit is still this one with the side ponytail hair. So I might switch back to this one. I like this one a lot. This is my favorite. But anyway, I might use this one for a bit too, because it's good to have a variety or something. But anyway, yeah. Interested to see how the epilogue to the role quests works, given the state of a lot of villains in them and the fact that none of the artifacts are present. Or like all the artifacts have been retrieved and like so on. And a lot of the like characters that you're teamed up with for the role quests were really good. At least a few of them were really good. I have no idea what direction they might take that in. Presumably, like, we'll all team up against a team up of all of them or something. Or there was a leader of the Unbound who we haven't actually dealt with yet, who stole the artifact that does all of the artifacts. Like, I mentioned it before, but probably one of the most interesting or like curious things about this whole set of quests is that all the artifacts look like they're connected to each other. They're like very clearly very similar. They all have like similar sizes. They all have like the same general size and shape except for the animal associated with them. So there's some connection between them. Okay, yeah, we haven't seen that leader yet, then. So I assume we'll probably be dealing with her. Having some sort of final artifact or something like that. But yeah, this will be the last Final Fantasy XIV stream until the 0.1 patch. It's 8.1 at this point, I think. We sort of ran out of stuff to do, at least for now, in terms of like story content. So, time for Sucro to take an extended break. Well, I don't actually know when 8.1 is scheduled for. I don't know if we have a schedule for that yet. It might be sooner than I think. Do we know that? Snooze Crow. That's correct. Oh, it's 7.1, not 8.1. 7.08 is scheduled for late August. 7.1 is expected to be released in November 2024, according to this random source. According to esports.net. I don't know if that's accurate, but it sounds probable. So yeah. Sucro will now take a break for possibly several months. And in the meantime, that means the next stuff will probably be, well, we'll continue Etrian Odyssey 3 with farmers. There might be more random Elden Ring here or there, because I did find another character type that I enjoy, and it's just kind of, I just kind of like to play that game, so, and unless I'm losing at it, and then I dislike it. I do want to cover that one part of the DLC that I skipped over by accident. Well, not by accident. Well, sort of by accident. I didn't do the whole dragon part, and there's a boss in there that everyone says is difficult, so I have to fight it and see how that goes on my character that's locked into perfume build at the moment. Well, I say locked in, but they have like 80 dexterity and enough faith to cast the 2 buffs that everyone puts in every build, so like, they're good. They could do other stuff. But we'll see. So yeah, Etrian Odyssey, maybe some Elden Ring. Other than that, I'm not entirely certain about anything that I might be streaming in the future. But we'll find out, I guess. My way of deciding what to do is more impulsive than anything. No matter how many times I make a poll to see how interested people are in various ideas, I will inevitably have different ideas by the time I get around to needing to stream something. So yeah. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail. Thank you for petting Calico. She deserves it. And hope you all have a good rest of your day and or night. And I will see you at the next stream. Good night, everyone.